Okay, just to wrap up thoughts from the previous chapter, because I don't think I quite made the point I wanted to. Um, the reason I was stressing the kind of Japanese style of nerd stuff is we have this idea that, or nerd culture in the West has this idea that there's something about expertise or skill that's associated with nerds, and particularly with gamer nerds. There's a constant re-emphasizing of nerds are intellectually special, or do things that other people can't or don't, or even that other people hold in contempt wrongly. Whereas the Francis character in the last chapter is very clearly just somebody who owns a lot of stuff, which implies that the capital comes from a different source. It's not a personal capital of any kind. It's a purely material capital. Anyway, in this section we saw that Nastasia, the secretary type PA, I guess, has some sort of emotional debt to Black, for better or worse. Anyway, now Merlon meets Bowser. So what we're learning here is that Tippy can't create pure hearts, but that just purely by fluke she had a burst of love and affection in the right place for us to find the heart that was there. Anyway, Bowser has some of his spirit back. There's probably nothing I love more in the entire Paper Mario franchise than Bowser's, like, surprise face. Maybe the bit when Mario falls flat on his face. This series has some very good animations, is what I'm saying. Anyway, you can shortcut from the top of the tower to this lift, which is a lot quicker than the other lift. And because the last pixel we got was the one that lets us ground pound pillars, working out where to go is for once fairly easy, because there's a set of pillars just here. No, wrong pixel. That's wrong, isn't it? Missed. I might have memorised the sequence from my recce's. I did extra recon this chapter because the first level of it is very easy to get lost in. Anyway, that was a nice and easy transitional segment, wasn't it? We're going into outer space, completely unprepared, so you can imagine how well this is going to go. Specifically, it's going to go this well. It takes Mario a moment to realise that he's not breathing. And back we are, thankfully. So now we need to go and see if Merlon can make us a spacesuit. Because the interlude bits still have to be just as complicated as before. So before I do anything else, I should rest up. But I'm not going to go to the shop here because this chapter isn't as punishing as the last one, and crucially only has two boss fights, sort of, but they're both right at the end. That's putting it mildly, Merlon. Yes, because you clearly want to approximate with a spacesuit helmet. So this just says, go and find some random boy who has my thing that might be useful as a helmet. If you haven't already guessed, it's a fishbowl, and the boy is up here. On my recce, I did use the fortune teller, who basically tells you he's on the second floor. There's only like 2 characters on the second floor at the best of times, so... So now we have to find somewhere that a fish can survive. And my first thought was that there are a couple of kind of water fixtures in Flipside, but that's not the answer. That water apparently doesn't count as sufficiently watery. This water, on the other hand, is just fine. We could go straight back, but I'm just going to take a quick peek over here first. Because here is a mysterious passage. And here is a guy who will make us a shortcut. given how much stuff there is off at the other end of this area, I'm sure will come in handy later on. But it's not quite the intricacy of the Rogueport sewers in Thousand Year Door still. This Flipside area just doesn't feel as structured as Rogueport did. And back to outer space we go, without, you will note, putting on the helmet first. Anyway, all this area is a giant empty space with one interactable in it, over here somewhere. And it contains a squid. I don't know why he appoints himself captain. The rest of the chapter doesn't do anything with that. Thankfully. I like this line. A lot of energy. And now we're in a sort of side-scrolly shooter bit. This should be noted, this is like a couple of years before Nier got into this stuff. But, also, Nier did a much better job of it. What this first part of the chapter does is we go through this kind of wormhole maze thing and just hope that we find our way. think it's this way, but I can't remember. There we go. Those things are particularly annoying because they have the FF12 ghost problem. That they are visible long after the hitbox has despawned and long before it respawns. There is a background area here with a pipe and an extra warp, but I've not found the way to it. But that's part one. Anyway, there's a streak of the game trying to cast suspicion on Squirps, and I think the idea is you're supposed to think it's another Mimi character, like it's another guise that the Mimic bad guy takes on. But again, it's never really built on. But Squirps can't actually remember the way to the space bypass. And then, suddenly potty humour. I don't really know why. Fortunately there's a potty here, but it's occupied. Anyway, someone in there has been waiting 100 years to wipe their butt. Because that's a thing that people do. There's the locked door. Oh my god, Mario. Here is a very irregular staircase. Those things are always a pain. Okay, I'm not going to try to kill that guy. Here's a conspicuous statue with like a tear in space over its head that we can't really see. It is visible in 3 dimensions, but it's not. You don't get it by going into 3 dimensions. Despite that seeming like the obvious thing to do. Oh my god, you guys are so annoying! At some point during development, they must have realised that it was very easy to just bounce on top of enemies. put something in the movement scripting that made you likely to bounce away from the enemy rather than just directly above it. But the net effect is maddening. Especially when the enemies have sort of 10 plus health. Trying to avoid the speed up flower at this point because those things are annoying. I still haven't really worked out how you're supposed to climb that bit. Anyway, here's a building. With an alien in it. Who doesn't really want to be much help. Anyway, this section looks like it ought to be a Peach jump. But she can't make the distance because what it actually is a 3D bridge. Oops. For some reason there are fuzzies in space. I did think I had one more healing item than that. That was not a very efficient use of my health. Space food! And here is the Elder, fortunately. And he thinks he's got a clue for the treasure that's worth 1,000 coins, which I'm not going to pay. And we have no reason to trust him, so we'll bargain him all the way down to 10 coins. Because we don't actually need this clue, we don't have anything we can do with it. What we need is the paper. Can you guess why? And now we just backtrack through 2 whole areas that have basically been cleaned out. As far as I'm aware, there's no faster way of moving than this. I suppose it's possible that carry is faster, but probably not enough faster to make up for the extra change of pixel. Especially given how bad I am at the menuing. That door, by the way, doesn't lead anywhere particularly edifying. Just a... This pipe I have not found before. I think there are just coins here. But yes, that other door just leads to, if memory serves, an area where there's an extra house with a dude in it who says other useless things. No, don't knock me off the side. Mario. Why is your hitbox so bad, Mario? Anyway, the clue is about this statue, but I mean, there are enough hints there for us to not need an extra clue. Anyway, meet the randomly Italian sounding Pixel. Who is very, very grateful for me having brought them toilet paper. Meanwhile, Squirps apparently doesn't need loo roll. Make of that what you will. Fortunately, the game doesn't make anything of it. Oh yeah, to go and actually get the key first. So this is what Squirt's fleet does. There are random parts of the world that are marked with cracks like that. And he can flip them round. And occasionally they have keys or something in. How did I manage to not land on any of these? Extra life shroom.